What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, guys. I am David. On today's episode, we have to fill up our fabric bags with some soil, put some plants in them. Some of our beans sprouted, so we need to put those around the garden in a couple different places, and we have to sort out the greenhouse. Now it's like 92 plus degrees or 90 plus degrees out here. So in the greenhouse, it's going to be hot. We're going to do a lot of sweating today, but we never tire of a good time and some hard work. So let's get right to it. So I went to my local nursery, picked up myself a yard of soil. We're going to take some of the soil, we're going to be putting it into the greenhouse to amend the soil a little bit and till it into the greenhouse. And then some of the soil also we're going to be using for our soil bags. I have some bags, some planting bags that I'm going to use because I'm going to run an experiment because this is our second year on the property, and we don't really know how bad our rodent problem is going to be or how bad the deer problems are going to be, and we're making the learning curve here on the property. So we're going to be running an experiment with 5 different plants: romanescas, broccolis, cauliflower, cabbage, some of the brassicas. We're going to be putting one plant per pot per bag, and we're going to be putting like one broccoli in the greenhouse. We're going to put one broccoli in the fenced-in area, in the bag though, and then we're going to do that with each planting, one in the greenhouse, one in the fenced-in area, and then we're going to be also putting broccoli, if you will, in the ground in the greenhouse and in the ground outside of the greenhouse in the fenced-in area, because we want to see, are we going to have mice or voles or moles or anything tearing stuff up above the ground, in the bags, in the greenhouse. So we need to get this learning curve out of the way to see what's our best probability for success. And if everything gets eaten, then we're going to have to take a whole nother approach to everything. But hopefully some stuff survives, and we make a learning curve accordingly. So we're going to go ahead now and just fill up some bags and get that process started, and then we're just going to put all the bags for right now in the fenced-in area until we get the greenhouse sorted out. Here's my setup. It's going to be cabbage, cauliflower, kohlrabi, romanesca, and broccoli. So these are all cool weather crops, for the record. And this is going to be a setup. We're going to take these out and we're going to put them in the bags. Got some beans here. I'm not really too sure what type of bean it is. They were beans that were given to me. They're also another fast-growing crop. These are, I think, 45-day beans, so they pop up quick and they go quick. So my cantaloupe, I think I had honeydew here, and it got decimated. So we're just going to go ahead and fill in some of these blank holes here with some of these guys. All right, so over there, those were the light brown. They were just light brown shell on them. I don't know, like I said, I don't know what kind of bean it was, but it was light brown shell on those. These are going to be a light brown spotted shell. And I'm really saying all of that for my record, so I look back, I can remember what the seed was, or what the bean was. Right here used to be our pumpkin patch, and it got decimated, did not survive. So we're going to take this opportunity. We're going to put the beans here. We're going to let them vine that way. I stand corrected. Those are white beans. It says white beans. Right, so we had a pretty bad storm come through here, and it tore up our greenhouse really good. A tornado touched down in Pennsylvania, which is not that far from us. Pennsylvania is not that far from us. We're right on the Delaware for the most part, and on the other side of Delaware is Pennsylvania. And the storm came through, and it got really, really bad. The entire side of this greenhouse got pushed this direction. It broke all of our poles here, 1, 2, and 3. Oddly enough, the outside loops are fine, but just the middle loops all broke. And so, as you can see, I got some 2x4s and stuff just kind of propping this thing up still, because it still acts as a part of the barrier to get into our garden. So I kept it propped up. I didn't want it falling completely down. So now we've got to sort this out and see if we can salvage it. Essentially, we have a cover still. So I'm thinking my thought process to an engineering nightmare for this thing, without costing too much money and without getting too overly involved, I'm going to pound in some rebar into the ground on either side, and then I'm just going to bend some PVC and hopefully prop this thing back up, and maybe just zip tie it to these guys. Do it close to this one, do it close to that one, do it close to the other one also, and try to prop this thing back up with just bending some PVC. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're about to find out. That didn't come out bad at all. That actually worked out way better than I thought. That wasn't bad at all, other than the fact that it's really warm in this greenhouse. That worked out pretty well. I'm very happy with this. So I think that's going to work. I'm going to leave it like that. We're going to go ahead and get the tiller in here. A couple weeks back, I purchased myself a small little Ryobi tiller for like 50 bucks. I found on Facebook. Actually, Shannon found it, and she sent me the link and was like, hey, some guy's selling a little small tiller. He says it works. And so I gave the guy 50 bucks, and I picked up a small little tiller, and it's perfect for this kind of for this space. So we're gonna get the tiller in here, and we're gonna start tilling up this ground so we can drop some of the compost and garden mix that I picked up at my local nursery. Alright, so we're all done tilling the ground up. I gotta say, this little machine, that little Ryobi machine, it's not a promotion to them or nothing like that. They're not promoting me to say anything. I just happened to pick that thing up on Facebook really cheap, like I said before. But that thing did a really good job to be such a tiny little machine. It has a little pocket up front where you can put sand in it to keep the weight down or give it some weight up front. But I opted out of that so it would, if it hit a rock, it would bounce up to try to save the blades as much as possible. It is an old machine and it is used, so it worked out really well. This land has not been cultivated or done anything to in about 20 plus years. A short story here for newcomers to the channel or those that just don't realize it. We've only been on the property for about roughly 2 years now, and the land was just completely overgrown. You're more than welcome to go back on my playlist and check out some of the land clearing videos. You can see what it used to look like. But this thing has not been, anything has been done to this property from what we were told for 20 plus years. So this ground was really hard, and that little machine, I mean, it did a really good job for the size of it and what it is. Very happy, very impressed with that. But now we are done. It looks good, it's looking the part. A couple more little weeds we're going to end up having to pull and stuff like that. Not too worried. But we're going to go ahead and get some of that garden compost that we picked up, and we're going to go ahead and put it in here and till that in too, so we can get some plants planted. Alright guys, so the soil is in. We have it all spread out. It's looking really good. Now it was roughly a yard from the nursery when I picked it up, but I did fill up a couple of fabric bags to do carrots and some in our experiment with the brassicas. So that being said, I think I might want to actually pick up another yard to make this a little bit thicker. This is only about an inch and less in certain spots. But I think I actually might want to just not till this in and build this up a little bit more and call it a day in that fashion. So I think I'm going to head to the yard, to the nursery rather, and pick up an additional yard and put it back down. But for today, we are all at a light. The light's going down and we have a storm rolling through. So I'm going to pack it up and we're going to call this episode done. It was a great time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share. Please interact with me in the comments, guys. If you got anything to say what's up, whatever the case may be. It's been a blast. As always, two things. Don't forget to take the time to enjoy what you do. And don't forget, work doesn't do itself. So don't be afraid to get out there and get after it.